Good morning. In this week's Parsha, we find the commandment to say Birchas Hamazon, say grace after meals, benching. How do we learn that? We learn it from a pasuk that says Ve'achalta v'savatu v'virakta. You will eat, you will be satisfied, and you will bench. And from that, the rabbis learned there are three brachas, three blessings that we make for Birchas Hamazon. However, our rabbis instituted a fourth blessing, which is Atova Metiv. So the question is what caused the rabbis to see a need to add a fourth bracha if the Torah only says that you need three blessings for grace, to say thank you to Hashem? So if we analyze the blessings themselves, I think it shows a certain pattern. First, you see the first blessing is Azonas HaKol, that Hashem is the provider of food for the entire world. And therefore, since Hashem provides food for the entire world, we have an obligation to say thank you. Hashem is commanding us, teaching us gratitude, we should thank you. The second blessing is Ala Aretz Ala Mazon. We're thanking Hashem for the land of Israel and the food that comes from the land of Israel, which are special. You have Truma, you have Meiser, you have Bikurim, you have the 7 minim. There are certain things that have a certain elevated state that are specifically geared to Eretz Yisrael, and Hashem says, I gave you those foods. When we made a relationship, I gave you those foods. Something you should say thank you for. The third bracha is about Yerushalayim. Right now we add in the words Lubona Yerushalayim since it's destroyed, but the original formulation of the bracha was about thanking Hashem for Yerushalayim and for the Beis HaMikdash. For that similar concept. Thank you, Hashem, for giving us this special city where we can have korbanos, we can have Meiser Sheni, we can have the Bikurim. There are a lot of things that can only be eaten specifically in Yerushalayim, and therefore Hashem is saying thank you. So Hashem is teaching us this concept of gratitude, that if you should thank the person who provides you with something, you should say thank you. So what's the fourth bracha? The bracha is Atova Metiv, that everything that God does for us is good. He's Tov and He's Metiv. He does good and He continues always to do good. When was this bracha formulated? This Gemara teaches us was done at the time of the Haruge Beitar. After the destruction of the Second Temple, there was a rebellion by this Bar Kokhba, and there was a chance that people thought that maybe even Bar Kokhba was a chance to be Mashiach, and he ultimately was defeated, and they were decimated. And the city, their last stronghold of Beitar, a great city, was overrun and totally destroyed. And as a warning to everyone else, the Romans did not allow the people who were killed to be buried. They forbid it. They posted guards, and they were prohibited to land. The bodies were just left to be rotting in the sun. And this happened for 13 years. Finally, Hashem's mercy allowed them to go to be buried, and they noticed a miracle occurred, that the bodies did not decay, did not rot. They were fresh in a way that did not cause a desecration to the body, and they took it aside, and that time they instituted this bracha of Atova Metiv, not only for benching, but in other places as well. So we see from here, it could be a very interesting insight that what are the rabbis teaching us? So what do we feel from this? Is that Hashem can't command us that everything I do for you is good, because that has to come from us. That has to be a feeling that can only be established through our feelings. Meaning, if a parent tells a child, "Oh, everything I'm doing for you is good," yeah, you think you're doing good. I don't think it's so good, etc. And so, therefore, I can't say thank you for all the good that you do, because I may not believe that it's doing good. What Atova Metiv teaches us is that, especially from this moment, is even in the darkest hour, that Hashem still had mercy on us, and we start our path back to becoming, and that we were, even after all the destructions. I mean, we have it in our own lifetimes, or our parents' lifetimes, is that there was a horrible war, and there was a decimation of Klal Yisrael. And afterwards, though, there's a resurgence, a rebuilt, a new energy in Klal Yisrael that hasn't been for many, many generations. even though we don't know the reasons why this happened, that happens, and all that. But Hatov Meitiv, and that's what the rabbi said. This is important to be. That's what we have to add into benching. Is this idea is that all this, not only he's the provider, but all that he does is good. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Thank you.